Today we're featuring a watch brand here on the channel that I've actually featured in the past. Their first watch didn't actually make it through Kickstarter. However, this is their second offering and they have funded on Kickstarter for this watch, and you can definitely see why. We'll take a look at the watch in this video. It's an integrated bracelet watch with an extremely clean design. The bracelet and case are very uniform. It looks like a dress watch, and that's really because it is. It's a dressy integrated bracelet watch, but it's also getting 200 meters of water resistance. And you don't see that very often, especially from a watch that looks like this. So let's take a hands-on look at the Manime and their Fidele integrated bracelet watch. The affordable integrated bracelet market right now is very tight. Almost every single micro brand is coming out with an integrated bracelet watch. Not only that, major brands are doing the same. So brands like Citizen and Seiko and all these other brands, they're all coming out with something, or they've come out with something that is an integrated bracelet watch that is somewhat affordable. So in order to stand out in a crowd, you have to do something a little bit different. And this is a brand called Manime. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, please forgive me. I apologize. This is called the La Fidele. Again, I've actually featured one of their watches here on my channel before. However, that watch failed at Kickstarter, or I believe it failed at Kickstarter. This one has funded at Kickstarter, and it is their integrated bracelet. So what they've done here is a very clean design. This is very straightforward. You have very nice finishing on the case and bracelet. However, it's nothing crazy. It's a 38 millimeter integrated bracelet watch with 200 meters of water resistance. So that kind of threw me for a loop, a little bit of a curveball, I would say. This does not look like a watch that has 200 meters of water resistance, and it's really not thick either. So it's around 11.2 millimeters thick, I want to say. It's a 38 millimeter watch with a lug to lug of around 42 millimeters at the case, which is very short. However, it does have male end links. Technically, I guess you would call them male end links. So it's around 51 millimeters on this bracelet. I believe they have a strap option. However, I would not say it wears like a 51 millimeter. We'll talk about that in just a second. And of course, I'll throw it on my wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7.5-inch wrist. But this gets a sapphire crystal with AR coating, and it gets a interesting yet simple bracelet. So the bracelet basically are just solid links that are rectangular. You have a really nice beveled edge that goes along the entire bracelet. You could feel that they're kind of close together and they're a little bit sharp at the edges, but not sharp to a point that you would get cut or scratch your skin on them. I think they did that so that they fit together really, really well. Now, that's going to pull hair on some wrists. It pulls hair on my wrist a little bit. But you can see on the underside, they tried to alleviate that a little bit by adding some space. But even though that's there, you're still going to get hair pulls and things like that. You have a butterfly clasp. It is signed with the logo and the brand name, as you can see right there. There's a little bit of wiggle in this. This is a prototype. Not sure if that will change for the production model, but it's nothing too crazy. It's really not that bad. You also have screw pins in the bracelet. I do want to mention that because I have seen a lot of new integrated bracelet watches that do not have screw pins. They get friction pins or, pin and collar or something like that. So I do like to see that. The integration of the case into the bracelet is really nice. Again, you have sort of a flat edge at the lugs. It goes right into the bracelet. It looks like it's part of the bracelet. That's the whole point. Technically, is this an integrated bracelet watch? Really, no. When you flip it over, you could definitely fit a strap in there. It would be probably a small strap and it would wear kind of like a normal watch. However, it would be a little bit of a small strap, but with that said, you're probably going to wear it on the bracelet because the bracelet is really nice. Powering this watch is a Miyota movement. It is a 9039. They also have the option of a 9015. That's what you're seeing here because you do have a date. So they have a dateless version. That's the version that I would get because I don't like to have the date. So I would get the 9039. But if you want the date, they are giving you the option of getting the date. You also get a large crown on here. It's over 6 millimeters for a 38 millimeter watch. That is huge. You have a flat bezel bezel with a polished edge that looks really good. Then you have a polished edge that goes along the entire case, the entire bracelet. So it's very uniform looking. The entire watch is very, very uniform looking. The finishing is really nice. You have a screwed-in case back, of course, because you have a 200-meter water-resistant watch here, screwed-in crown as well. And you do get to see the movement from the back, and there is their logo that goes across the entire crystal, sapphire crystal on the back, so you could see the entire movement. And you have like a little silver logo on there. I'll do a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. You don't get quick release on the bracelet. I would like to see that. Unfortunately, they did not do that. But other than that, I think, you know, there's a lot to like about this watch. I think it has a very distinctive look, even though it's an affordable integrated bracelet watch. What they've done here is pretty distinctive. Today on my wrist, I have my 510-501 Hoyer. This is a vintage watch that I absolutely love, and I've been wearing it a little bit recently because of the recent releases from Tag Heuer and Kith. Just reminded me that I wanted to wear this watch because I really do love it. It's just a good looking watch. And there is the Manime on my 7.5-inch wrist. You could see this is a 38mm watch. It wears like maybe a 39mm watch, but that lug to lug of 51mm doesn't really bother my wrist whatsoever. I think it looks really good. The bracelet looks really good. Fits really nicely, and like I said, if you have long hair on your wrist, which I don't, this will pull hairs because the bracelet design, the links are so close together, they will eventually pinch hair if you have a hairy wrist, so that is something to definitely keep in mind. For me, it really is fine. I don't have a hairy wrist, so no pinching going on here. This is a brown copper metallic sunburst dial. It just has the logo up at top, and then it says automatic down at the bottom. That's it. And of course you have the date, and you can get this without a date as well. This does get Lume, 200 meters of water resistance, Lume. So this is a true sports watch. So let's check out the Lume. So the fact that this has Lume is very good. Obviously the biggest competitors to watches like this, the Christopher Ward 12, which is a much more expensive watch, or the Tissot PRX, which is slightly more expensive than this watch. It's important that they add Lume here because obviously you do want that. When you talk about those other two watches I just mentioned, they get 100 meters of water resistance. This gets 200 meters of water resistance. So I would say that is the biggest get that this watch has over the other two watches, or really most integrated bracelet watches. 200 meters of water resistance is a lot for this style of watch. Price on this is just under $600 at $594, I want to say. So it is on the more expensive side. However, you are getting a lot for the money, and there is engineering that goes into making a watch like this. I do like the bracelet. I like the case a lot. It's finished really well, and then of course you're getting that 200 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal and Lume. So it is on the more expensive side, but it definitely is a nice watch. So if you like the look, it's definitely worth the money. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the fact that it has 200 meters of water resistance? Do you like the design? Tell me down in the comments. I'll put a link to their website. Of course, if you are interested in this watch, definitely check out their website. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.